Hello and welcome back to the No Excuses podcast. My name's Anne and I live in Worcestershire with my husband Tom. Today is Tuesday the 17th of August and it's a beautiful cloudless sunny sky, and I should be sat in it making the most of one of the last warm days of our summer, such that it's been, because it's been probably the worst summer in terms of sitting out and being able to enjoy the sun that I can remember. Anyway, let's not moan right from the outset. How are you? This is episode 85, and I think it is nearly 3 weeks since I last spoke to you, so I was meaning to do it last weekend, but you know how it is. Anyway, no excuses. Today we have got one finished item. Well, it's not blocked, but you know, progress and a bit of incoming. But if you're on Instagram, you would have seen that, and some activity. Yeah. So let's get on with it and see how we go. I did say, how are you? And then I immediately, you know, like one of these people go, how are you? And then talk about themselves. We all know somebody like that, don't we? Or at least one person like that. But yes, I hope you've been keeping well. I know a lot of you have been in touch via Instagram or email or on YouTube, and it's lovely to talk to you. Thank you very much for the interaction. I do really enjoy it. I'm not sort of saying woe is me here, but I am at home an awful lot these days, so it's nice to get a bit of outside interaction. However, if you try and get me outside, I often don't want to make the effort. Caught between those two things, really. But yeah, I hope you're all well and that you're enjoying your crafting, whatever you're making. Speaking of which, the make-alongs end at the end of this month, and I have got lots and lots of entries to catch up on. Not hundreds. I'm only a small podcast, but I will put all the entries wherever I can find them, whether they're in email, Instagram or Ravelry. I'll put them on my spreadsheets, and then I'll either get a random number generator or I'll get Tom to pick a number. I don't know how consistent he is at being random. I don't know whether he goes for the same number at a time. I doubt whether he'd remember what he chose last time, to be honest. I mean, I wouldn't be able to remember. So yes, and he doesn't look at the sheet. I just ask him why I'm in the same room as him to pick a number, and we will. Yeah, so it's the bigger the better, which is where you've knitted over 4 or made, crocheted, spun even over 400 grams of either the same thing, i.e. socks, hats, or a couple of shawls, or a big shawl, or a jumper, or a blanket. You don't have to finish by the end of the month. You have to finish a project as long as you've got more than 400 grams worth at that time. Excuse me. There's something about podcasting that makes me either burp or not hiccup, but yeah. And my nose always itches, and I look at myself and I go, I'm doing it again. It's hard to do to maintain one's composure, which I'm not really very good at anyway, because I am a fidgeter. Now, I will pay for postage anywhere in the world, and I have tended to post snail mail if it's outside the UK, and until recently I've been very successful with that. It's taken 2 to 3 weeks max, but I posted one to Wendy I posted it on the 27th of April, and it arrived with it on the 3rd of September in Australia. Now, I'm appalled at that, but there's nothing I can do because I didn't buy tracking. Because you're talking about a difference, you're talking about nearly 3 times as much money to track it or to, pay sort of a quicker post. But all I can do is try and keep my prices down to a minimum weight. And then, because I don't want to stop doing that, I think it's unfair. You see things on the internet, you'll see people on American podcasts saying US only, and okay, quite often they're the very generous ones who are posting things out weekly, but postage has seemed like everything has gone through the roof, and I don't want to limit my people entering my mails to just those in the UK. I know most of my followers are in the UK, so they've got a greater chance of winning anyway, if geographically, just because of the numbers. But yeah, I don't really want to stop posting abroad, but I'm appalled that it's taken so long. So I will look at upgrading the postage, but it will be a minimum package in that case, and I think that's a shame. I mean, the postal service are the ones that lose out because people just won't post. It's that thing, getting the price and the service at the right level, isn't it? You attract more custom at a certain level. Anyway, enough of my moaning. 2 new mails will start in October. There'll be one that will go on for the year, and there'll be one that will carry on till the end of March like I normally do. So yes, get those entries in if you want to have a chance of winning a mystery prize. It should just be one of these tubes of cream. I'm being stupid now. I realise that if I put my wipes, my face wipes and my night cream on my craft table along with all the other junk, I should show you really, it's not junk. I'm more likely to do my face properly at night. So I just thought, what's small on here that I could post out? That's nearly empty anyway. That's from a kit I was given for my last birthday. Normally they're in pots. Okay, finished. Now I need to hold still long enough to get myself a photograph, because I am terrible at just going yatta yatta yatta, moving a lot, and then I can't get myself a still in order to create a thumbnail. So this is not got, it was finished not last night because I was very tired, but the night before, turned myself off. And this is the Exordium Shawl by Rebecca Picoult, Picoult, and it's a right angle triangle. I am showing it you the right way round. It's 2 colours. This is, you could change the colours up, and as you can see, it's a nice size. It's not huge. It does need blocking to open up the lace. So the first colour I knitted it in was Black Elephant. This is my main colour. You use a little bit more than the contrast colour, and that's what it started out at, just garter. I don't improve, do I? And then the stripes with the contrast colour, and my contrast colour is beautiful colour from Olann that was a gift, and it's a Donegal Nep, and the 2 of them, you can see I've got a lot more of the Nep than I have the main colour left. And then you go on to this cluster stitch, which is quite nice, and I think this is why it needs a nice block, because you've got it makes a nice bit of texture, and I like texture. And then you've got garter stitch with the main with the contrast colour, stripes again, and then more clusters, and then you've got garter in the main colour, and then you finish off with the cluster stitch, but only in one colour, with a little bit of garter at the end. And then I used the knitted together cast off, and it's reasonably stretchy. I tried to do the one where you put a yarn over, and then when you bring the yarn from the back over the needle from the back to the front, and then you knit the next stitch, and then you take that loop and the previous knitted stitch over to cast one off, and you end up with a very, very stretchy edge and it was too stretchy for what I wanted or needed here. So this is nice. I like it. I love it actually. I love the colours, and it's going to be a decent around the neck or even the shoulders shawl for somebody. And you can't probably see it, but this will open up into quite a nice texture, open texture, like a cross. I'm just going to pose now, and hopefully it'll cover my face and you'll just see. That's enough. So the Exordium, it's taken me, compared to Jeanette, who's knitted one, she liked mine, so she started knitting it. She finished it, like, boom. Like, oh, I'm still on mine. I haven't finished it yet, but it has been my evening knitting, and I've literally sat there with the needles in my hand going, and apparently Tom says I do look like that. Says him who falls asleep every single night virtually. So there we go, the Exordium Shawl, another one off the needles. And because I like to have a shawl on the needles and an article of clothing at the same time, and maybe a blanket, I will go back to one of my 12 cast-ons and do either the lantern shawl or the Binai, I think it's called, D-O-H-N-E, or Donai, I don't know, I can't remember. It does tell you how to pronounce it. Oh yes, well, and I'll go back to them and see if I can hopefully finish them, both of them, before the end of the year. I'm looking forward to doing the lanterns because that's got beads on it, and I'm looking forward to doing the unpronounceable one because that's held together with mohair. So they're both really, really nice shawls. Okay, so that's the finished thing. I'm now going to go and show you my progress. Hopefully the picture will be better this time because I'm back on my GoPro. I did take a bit of video in Hobbycraft the other day, which I may or may not put in because I might be going too fast and it might make you feel a bit giddy. And I did that on my phone, but I don't know how that's come out. I've not watched it back. So back to progress. First of all, my stromboli, which I'd showed you for the first time, I think last time. I've done the body. So this is a fairly recent pattern from Caitlin Hunter of Boyland Knits, and I love the texture on this. Now this has got another sort of cluster stitch at the side. I can't hold things up, they're just too heavy for me these days. And then there's a sort of a mock cable thing going on at the front, which is not cabling, and then the same pattern at the side. And then at the back, because I'm sat in the chair, I've done just a bit of rib instead of doing the cable pattern, non-cable looking pattern on the back, to save me a little bit of time and a little bit of wool. Now I did it longer than the pattern anyway because of the boobage. I'm hoping it's going to be long enough because it still looks a bit short to me, and I'm not doing it again, and I'm not adding any more rib because it's already got quite a substantial sort of 2-inch rib at the bottom, and I don't really want that around my belly. We do not get into personal things around here, don't we? But I'd recommend the pattern, it's lovely. Caitlin's patterns fit me well usually. I made I'm going to say the stroganoff, but I think it was probably called the Soldotner, which I put in the charity bag because, for various reasons, mainly the colours. I sometimes get my colours so wrong. So that's the stromboli. Now I haven't done the sleeves yet, and it's got a very, very big armhole. I don't know whether I did. No, I didn't do an extra deep armhole. I did as the pattern said, more or less, because I realised it was nice and deep, and it's a drop shoulder because this will all open up a little bit as well. this has been made in Fantastic Mister, that gorgeous russetty colour by the by Yarnworthy, and of course, as I said before, Emma's no longer dying because it was hurting her back and she was in danger of it permanently damaging her, and she's too young for that. So that's a Stromboli, and I'm hoping that I'll get on the needles and start the sleeves before I see you next, and I'm very pleased with that. So I've got one ball left to do the arms, sleeves even, they're usually called, aren't they, in the pattern. And they're just this cluster stitch thing all the way down. There's none of the mock cable looking pattern on the sleeves. And I think what I'll do is I'll weigh the ball and I'll do half. I've still got to do the neckline. In fact, I'll do the neckline first, and then I'll know exactly how much I've got left. So that's a Stromboli, and I'm very pleased with that. And then I took a couple of pictures of my mum when we went to Webb's. She tried on her ochre cardigan, and the body is finished, and I've also done the front. So this is the ochre, and it's a pattern by Ambah O'Brien, and as you know, I did a yellow, mustardy yellow version, and it just gets a little bit darker as you go down. And I supplemented this with a couple of colours from Shipsy's merino nylon. In other words, they're sock wool, because all the other rest of it is sock wool. And now, and I've done the front band. I've done them all in garter stitch. I've done the hem in garter stitch like I did on mine, because the original pattern has got a lace pattern at the bottom, and because I'm using a striped variegated wool, I didn't see the point of putting a lace on it. And I think actually the garter looks quite nice, so I'm pleased with that. Your hair fall out when you're post-menopause. I mean, I know it does look like I've still got a nice thick head of hair, and I have. A bit flat today, but I just everywhere. Almost as bad as when we had the old Bert. I miss Bert. So yeah, so the body's done. Now, you know I don't like going round and round and round. I get bored, and I don't like doing sleeves. I don't like using DPNs, and I'm basically just here to moan. I quite enjoyed using the higher flyers, or the crazy trio as Addie calls them. I think I got one of each, but they're about £18 for a set of 3. I bought some from Temu to try them out. I'll show you one of them. I think I bought 2 lots from, 2 lots from Temu, and I bought the same size twice. And they come, I'll take them out of the package. I will put these in one of the, randomly put them in a bag. There's 2 of them, there's another one as well. So they're about 9 inches long, and they bend in the middle. These are a 4mm. And these, I think, would be really, really good to do an in the round sleeve in double knitting. There you go. But since I've already got the 4mm, then I'll say I will pop this in one of the bags, because it won't add much weight. One of the bags in the UK, probably better say that. So if you're having a bag off me this year, a charity bag, and you fancy having a go with these, drop me a line. There's more than one of you having the bag, or more than one of you. I'll put your names in a hat and draw one of you out to have these little trio of needles. Anyway, So I decided I didn't want to buy any more higher sharps, flyers or crazy trios because they were very expensive. And I sat there, you know when you go down a rabbit hole, in my case a rabbit warren, and I kept looking at all these different options. And I've got some quite short cables on my Chia Goose because I've got the shorties, the little blue kits that you can buy, which, you know, in itself is expensive. And I've got the short tips that I don't mind knitting with, but not the ultra short. I find them quite fiddly. But the ones that are about that long, I can use them quite easily. So I've got those, and with another set of tips, 4-inch tips in the right size. I needed 3.75 and 3.25. And then I discovered, finally, I looked at Zings, and I'm going to show you these now. They should be incoming. And I bought these two. And they're both things. And I think they're for sock knitting. They've got a longer tip one end and a shorter tip the other. Unlike those flyers and the crazy trio, the ones I just showed you. Can you see that? So the purple of the 375 and the dark turquoisey colour of the 325, and they were £5 something each. And then I found that I could make a set of 3 out of my existing with the tips that I've got and the different kits that I've got, and I only needed 1 extra. And I'll let you know how I get on doing the sleeve of the Ochre cardigan the next time we meet, because I want to get that off the needle so Mum can wear it. So I was quite pleased with myself that I hadn't succumbed to buying another set of 3, because I couldn't buy them off Temu, because Temu hadn't got exactly the right diameter. You know, they weren't saying, I mean, those say 4mm on them. And Tom said, well, how do you know that anything else you buy are what they say? Does that matter? And I said, I don't want to take the risk that a third of my sleeve would be slightly looser stitches than the rest of it, you know, as I knit round and change needles. Well, half actually, no, third. So I bought these. So I don't know how accurate the needles are, but Temu didn't do, they weren't selling them as the accurate sizes like 375 or 325. So I didn't buy any more of them, even though they were very cheap. So that's the tale of the needles, and I explained it to you just far quicker than I coped with it myself when I was trying to decide what to do. So, and again, the next time, although I want to be working on the Stromboli, I do want to get Mum's cardigan off the needles, so I will be working on this Ochre cardigan for the foreseeable future. Now I finished the Exordium because I want to block it this week. Well, I think Thursday we should be having nice weather again, and I can get up and block the shawl so I can give it to my friend. And I've got one other thing I've been making a little bit of progress on, and I'll just show you that. I've started again on using my little cord contraption. The branded name is Cordsmith, so I won't call it that. And I've done that much, and mainly pinks, purpley colours. Got that little bit to do, and I'm making a cord from which I will knit Tom a chunky weight jumper, or super chunky, depends on how it looks at the end. It's been fairly consistent, and I quite enjoy it, although it does hurt the shoulder if I stupidly sit here for too long and get carried away and, you know, make about 10 foot of it. So that's going to be, I'm going to put that next to me tonight, and I'll do a bit of that in the evening for the next couple of nights before I get one of the other shawls out and start working on them. So I'm pleased about that, because I don't like to sit here with nothing to do. I can't, if I'm watching the telly, I'll at least got the choice if I want to knit or not, or fall asleep. But when I'm sat in the back room here, I can't just watch something on a tablet, because it just feels wrong and I get fidgety. So that's my progress. Not bad, I suppose. I've not done any sewing progress. Mum's just getting over her sciatica, and I know she's keen to cut out another shirt for me. So let's see what happens. But Mum's under no rush, Mother, because I want to. Yeah, I've got plenty to do. Right, we're into incoming. Oh God, no, I haven't bought anything. Liar. Right. I bought some things from Attic's Binai, and looks like I've just ripped a stitch marker off. They always put a lovely little stitch marker on their skeins. I saw this is called Titania, and on Instagram they did name the green mini as well, but this is 50-50 superwash merino in silk. I'll just show you this. So it's a sock set, and it's purples, the colours I like, yellows, browns, purple, not blue purple, but a nice soft pinky, and it says hand wash because it's merino silk, and it's 100 grams plus a 20 gram mini, which means I've got 480 metres here. And don't they look nice? Now, I think they showed a shawl in this. Angela, correct me. And they had another one which I put in my basket, but I didn't buy. But because this was my favourite colour, Titania, I should say. So I bought that, and that did have that on it, a little fairy charm. May or may not show up on the screen with me lifting my arm up. And then I've been wanting to buy this for ages. I put it in my basket, taking it out again. This is called Festival Fairy. And I just love this. I couldn't wear these colours, but I just love the vibrancy. I'd say I couldn't wear them. I think if I could put them in colour work, you know, where you get that lovely variegated, you put a variegated skein into colour work and it comes up all mottled and everything. I love that look. That's got a little bicycle, an ordinary or a penny farthing charm on it. And this is merino nylon, and it's 425 metres, and it's got every colour of the rainbow in it. It's beautiful. Yeah, no plans for that. I just bought it because I liked it. And then I've just caught one of the, it's not done any damage, it's just pulled at it a bit. I bought this, which is Zach Yak in the City. I don't know whether the colours have come up. It's a teal with purples, a hint of orange, like a dark teal, turquoisey blue, all those colours in it. Gorgeous. And this is superwash merino, yak and nylon, and it's 70-20-10, and that feels beautiful. But that's going to go into a giveaway at some point. And then they very kindly gave me something I'd seen on Instagram, and I went, "What's that colour?" And Andy said it's called Merkwood. I went, "Oh, that's nice." And that was weeks ago. But bless them, they sent me another green. And the last time they sent me a green was called Anne's Special Green, and I've made that beautiful cowl out of it, which I wore towards the end of the winter last year, and I shall be wearing again very soon. But look at that. I mean, the colours in it. It is a gungy green, not a yellowy gungy green, but it's got lovely tones of yellowy greens in, and almost and a bottle green. So that's called Merkwood. And it's got one of my hairs attached to it. I don't know. So those are the 4 skeins from Attic's Binai. That one's a giveaway. That one was a gift, and these 2 were just me being greedy, as you give up. I give up. Trying to show things. Last month I asked you about that fluff from Zakami, which I've forgotten to get out, but you remember what I'm talking about. And I asked you what colour you thought, and most of you came up with the same colour that I thought. I did think a pistachio green would go well, but I dismissed that because I've got so much green anyway, as much as it is my favourite colour. And in the end I went for this, which is called Linen, and it's a Yarn Smith sock wool, so it's so soft. Yarn Smith's is Wool Warehouse's own brand. So what's it say here? You get 400 metres in 100 grams, 75% merino wool and 25% nylon. It is very soft. I don't know whether that's because it's quite loosely put into the ball that you could get extra squidge with it. I'm not sure, but it is very soft. And I'm going to put that with the Zakami. I asked Mum and I showed her the Zakami wool, and there is a lot of this colour in it actually, more so than any other single colour. Now Pip said to me, use it on its own and make something like a ranunculus, and that would have worked I think for anybody else but me, or somebody like me who's quite hard on their clothes. I catch things, you know, I catch myself on things because I have to lean heavily on stuff and to get about. I can be a bit clumsy obviously with that, so I wanted to put it with something else. So I'm pleased with that. I bought 4 of these, but stupidly I bought them when I bought the needles. Get the postage up, you remember? Got to pay, you know, don't pay postage if you don't need to. And so the price has gone up on these by about £1, I think, £1.30. So I did miss out on the introductory price, stupidly. But you know, Dye-Lot 01. That's Linen by Yarn Smiths. And then, and it doesn't stop there, but I didn't buy this. I've been watching Sewing Street every now and again. I quite like John Scott and Stuart Hillard, who are the 2 male presenters on there. They're my favourites. I don't watch a lot of it, but if it's on and I'm trying to do something fiddly, I put it on so I don't have to watch the screen. But they had Debbie Shaw on the other day, and Debbie's a very good bag maker, and I've watched her YouTube channel. She's quite well known, particularly here in the UK, if you're a bag maker. And she had a box. I'm trying to see the right size here. She had a little box tool for boxing off bags, and it looked like a duck or a dog, and that is what this looks like. You can have it that way around if that makes it look more like a dog or a duck to you. Oh, actually no, that way because of the ears. There you go. And they were selling it at half price as an introductory, so it's $4.99, but you had to pay postage, and there was no way I was going to do that because I didn't want anything else. So I said to Tom, can you make me one of these? And I showed him what it was, and he said yes. But he said, well, sometimes you get a bit of shrinkage. You've got a 3D printer, you get a bit of shrinkage on it. And I said, well, actually, it doesn't matter if it's not an inch or 1.5 inches. What matters is whether the 2 sides are the same, because you're using them as to draw on, to cut against, and they've got to meet. So I said it doesn't matter if they're not an exact measurement. So anyway, so he did that for me. It didn't take him long. He's a very clever boy. So I've now got my own boxing tool, which I'm going to use because I'm going to make some tote style bags as part of the charity bag things. Well, bigger, they're made out of slightly different material, and this will help me be more accurate, because you know me, they're wonky and they always will be. I'm a bit gun-ho. What was I going to say about that then? I can't remember. I've lost my train of thought about it. Oh yeah, I watched a video, an interesting video, because everybody uses, a lot of people use this sort of tool. They use the edge of a ruler to draw around the two sides to put a box bottom on a bag. But then I watched this other person who said actually it should be slightly, one side should be at an angle, because they meet much better then, and you don't get that shaped bag, you actually get a squared off bag. So I need to watch that again. Not I'm going to get time to make me another template, but I could possibly, when using this big one, which is 2.5 inches, it may be, because I'm taking, that gives you like a 4-5 inch bottom. That's quite a bit out of the bag, but it would be nice if the bag stood up, and it's more likely to, as it gets bigger, to stand up if it's got straight sides and if it's got slightly narrowing at the bottom. So there you go. That's my dog tool. She called it a duck, but yeah, I'm going to call it a dog. Yeah. So thank you, Tom, for that. I'm very pleased. And that's all the knitting content, and I'm hoping there should be some sewing content next time. I should be making the charity bags for those of you who kindly said you'll buy one from now on. I've got some of the fabric out and it's behind me, and I will be getting on with it now. I just need to get it cut out. I might get Tom to help me cut it out. I'm going to make the bags during October, and hopefully I will post them out as I make them. If you're still in, if you want a bag and you're in the UK, it will be £23, and that's allowing £3 for postage, tracked second class. So tracked 48 is £3.39, so I'm going to say £3. And if you're, a couple of people have asked me to post them outside the UK, and I will offset that £3 against whatever postage option you choose, because I'll, after saying about the snail mail, it's entirely up to you whether you take a chance on that or whether you want me to upgrade it tracking. And then I will be wanting payment. I'll let you know when I want payment of £23 is in the UK, and I'd much prefer you can do bank transfer, or and I can let you have my details, or if you're using PayPal, please use friends and family, otherwise I lose at least half of the cost of the postage against the bags. And being me, I haven't costed any of this material, I'm just doing it because I enjoy doing it. I will donate £10 of the £20 I'm charging for the bag itself. I would donate £10 to the Stroke Association in memory of Dad, who we lost 3 years ago. Gone very quickly, hasn't it, unfortunately. So yeah, I'll be in touch with you. If you asked for a bag and you no longer want one, for whatever reason, please don't hesitate to let me know. It's entirely up to you. I'm just so grateful that so many of you have joined in with this. If you haven't told me and you do want a bag, pop me a line on wherever, and as long as I get back to you and say yes, I've got your message, then you'll be on the list. So yes, the charity bags hopefully will start leaving here towards the end of October. They will not have anything else in with them apart from the bag this year, and I'll put a little note in as well to keep costs and postage down. Not in the UK so much, but abroad. Right then, let's talk. I haven't had a slurp yet, have I? Got very cold tea here. But I'm keeping it because I want to take some tablets in a minute. Activity. We'll end on activity. I don't know how long I've been. I've been 43 minutes. I can half talk. Anyway, I should smile more, shouldn't I? It's a very serious podcast. I said to Pip, you look very serious on your podcast when I met her at Wonderwall. And I realised I'm just the same. I think it's the concentration. Activity. I've sorted the bags that surround me that I daren't show you because you'll go, oh. And I've put them, the contents of each bag with photos onto my notes app. I think it's Google Notes, and I've found that really, really useful because it's allowing me to go back to the bag a few days later, a week later, and dig out the fabric I want to use for some of the charity bags, for instance. And I'm doing similar for the bags that are in the loft. I've already done that for the bags that are in the loft, and I've done it for the tins that I've got, even the small tins and the boxes that are on the shelf. I'm trying to do that so I know exactly where everything is. I don't have to keep asking Tom to pass me the same things again because I've forgotten. So I've done that, and I'm pleased with that because it's already proving to be worth the hour it took me, or whatever, a couple of hours. So going back to when I last podcast, a day or two after that, I met Denise in our town centre, and we've got, I want my bathroom doing, and it's desperately need doing, it's falling apart, and there's quite a big, for the size of town, quite a big bathroom place, independent one, you know, not home base or B&Q, just outside the town centre. But I had to go in the road to get to it because I didn't realise there was an underpass, because I'm an idiot and I've only lived here 15 years. I don't think I told you that last time. So I had to go in there, and then they were shut. So did I tell you that last time? Do you know, I can't remember. So if I did, I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself. I've got the date of the podcast when I recorded it, and I presume that's the day I recorded it. Anyway, we had a bank holiday, and then Tom and I had our 6th wedding anniversary. Actually, that's what I'm going to say. I ordered the Attic's Binai wool for, because it was iron this year, and I didn't fancy any iron. Call me boring. I do quite fancy something to go in the garden that you stick in the, you know, like a robin or something that you stick in the lawn. Yes, so I had a chat with Sal on WhatsApp, Sal in South Wales. And then last couple of weeks ago, we went to start the search for our next vehicle. I say it could be very exciting. It could be a negative thing. I'm not a very negative person, but I'm really struggling to get in and out of the car. And I've said to you before, it's getting silly, getting dangerous. I could fall. And then I need the fire brigade to pick me up. And I don't want to go through that in case somebody puts it on YouTube as a video. Look at this woman here, she can't even get herself off the ground. Oh, it would make me laugh. But anyway. So we went up to somewhere near Wednesbury, near IKEA, just off the M5, and I went in the back of these like small van type things, a bit like the old Berlingo or Kangoo. The Renault one's called a Horizon, Peugeot one's called a Horizon. So you've got windows in the side, some of them got sliding doors, and you get a ramp that's either mechanical or it's very well balanced, so you can just pull it out with your fingers, your tips, and you go up there and you sit sort of in the middle, between the driver and the passenger seat, but further back. So you're roughly where a back seat would be. Then I wanted one more seat as well as passenger, because I quite often take 2 or 3 passengers if I am taking passengers at all. And then you get fastened down with hooks, and some of them have got a winch to pull you in, or if the person who's driving needs assistance, because some people in wheelchairs can't drive themselves, whether they're in electric or whether they're in a manual, and they need pulling up that slight ramp. It is only a slight ramp. Anyway, there's every option available to you. They're very expensive, I will say that, and they're usually ex-Motability, which is a government-run scheme that we have in the UK. You get a mobility element towards your disability benefit, which is at the moment is called a personal independence payment, PIP. It was DLA before that. They changed it all the time. It's not easy to get, but I get the personal care bit, and I get at the higher level, and I get the mobility at the higher level. But I've been on the higher level of mobility since mobility allowance came in the late 70s, and I was in the first tranche of people to ever have a Motability car. But actually, if you've got the money to put down on a second-hand car, it's cheaper in the long run, because you put all this money to Motability, and at the end of 3 or 5 years, you've given them quite substantial. At the moment, mobility allowance per week is £75.75. That's just under £4,000 a year, and you sign that over to the company. You get free basic hand controls, and I think you get a certain amount of this wheelchair accessible stuff if you go for what they call a WAV, wheelchair accessible vehicle. You have to put money down as a deposit, and you get all the servicing. You get tyres, breakdown cover, insurance, all as part of what you pay over. But it's still not worth it to us. So we have had 3 ex-Motability cars since I met Tom. We've had an Astra estate, a Focus estate, and we've got a Mondeo estate, which is by far the biggest car. Love it. I love my car, but I'm just struggling to get into it. So we're going to try and future-proof ourselves by buying what we need now. And tomorrow could be a brilliant day, or it might be a saddish day, because I'm going to go and find out if there's a way of getting me into the driver's side of a bigger car. And they do these seats, swivel seats, that come out electrically, and they lower to where you want them, and you sit on them, and they put you back in to drive. I don't like heights, and he said to me, the man on the phone, you might have to have a bigger one than the Peugeot, because of fitting it between the steering wheel and allowing for going round corners. And if you've ever pushed somebody in a wheelchair, you will know that you've got allowed to go round corners. I mean, if you drive a car, you've got to go round the corner. You can't hug the corner, you've got to go round the corner. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to going. It's in Derbyshire. It's about an hour from here, just over probably, with the motorway. And we're going to go and see what's available to us. So fingers crossed they can offer me a solution. And then, well, between then, because I started talking about that, because we went to see Jubilee, whatever they're called, in Wednesbury a couple of weeks ago. But since then, I met Mum in Webbs, and I saw this in Webbs, and I had a smell of the body lotion, because they didn't have a hand control. Didn't have a hand lotion in the tester. It's called Innis, and it says it's the energy of the sea, sea minerals, 20% shea butter, seaweed extract. It smells lovely. I love that ozony seaside smell. but I didn't buy it in web because I think this one was $7.99, and I thought, get off, you know. They make a nice gift, a big shower gel, but again, that's about 15 quid. We'll see. And then on the Wednesday, I met with Judy and Wendy, and at St Peter's Garden Centre, and they had this, and it was a bit cheaper. It was $4.99, so I was going to treat myself, and I bought it. So yeah, but that was the only thing. I went into Hobbycraft. I may or may not put the videos up of me in Hobbycraft, just around the wall and the fat quarters, you know, for making things with. Then and then yesterday I went out with Elaine and Liz. We went to Merry Hill. Lizzie's husband Dave came with us, and he walked around on his own. They're going to Australia and New Zealand in a couple of weeks' time, and he was going around getting some more holiday clothes to take with him. So he went round on his own. I don't know how many times. He may or may not got lost, I don't know. We ran into him once, and then we ran into him right at the end, just before we were due to meet up. We just grabbed, we normally go to Wetherspoons and have a double rum and something to eat, but we were there a bit earlier because Elaine had got a lift with her son to the shopping centre, so she met us there. So we went to Marks and Spencer's and had a coffee, and he joined us with his partner. And then, just as we were going to move, Elaine's sister Jeanette came in her mobility scooter with one of her very pregnant daughter, and that was nice to see them. But we were moving, so they had our table, and nothing catastrophic happened this time. We had a nice time. We got in the car for 3 o'clock, and I felt much better for doing a shorter day, so that was good. And that's it, and that brings me up to date. So I am now going to say goodbye to you. I will see you in a couple of weeks, hopefully, on my most recent track record. It's more like 3. And yeah, if you want to ask me any questions, want clarification on anything I've talked about, or just want to chat, get in touch and I will respond. I do sometimes miss the odd email going to Sparnit because it's my secondary email that I've just done for the podcast. And I found this morning, even though I look for it on my phone, I look for all inboxes, I found a message from a lady this morning. It was sent 4 days ago, and yet I know that I've looked at the Sparnit account since then. So I don't know whether it's probably me, but it could, I don't know if it's the phone. I can't blame technology, can I? So me and the dog are going to go off now, take some tablets, and I'll do the editing, and hopefully you'll see me pop up on your screens sometime on Wednesday night or maybe Thursday night. We'll see how we get on tomorrow as well. I can't say wish me luck. No, today's Tuesday. Tuesday night or Wednesday night. I can't say wish me luck because you won't see me till after I've been to look at the stuff. I'll let you know how I get on. Take care. Look after yourselves. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. So thanks so much for watching. Bye.